Hello, it's Petrus Engelbrecht. I'm Senior Vice President Sales at Sotheby's International Realty. Normally, I don't give myself a title, but I want to balance out my very dear colleague, Kevin Hardy, who is also a Senior Vice President Sales at Sotheby's International Realty. Hi, Kevin. How are you?
I'm doing very well. I'm feeling very flattered at the moment. So thank you for that very gracious introduction.
Really a pleasure. And so, Kevin, you are a realtor in Vancouver, and I must say, I haven't been there that much. I would love to know a little bit more today about your market, how things are going there, and what you're experiencing at the moment.
Yeah, thank you. So I've been a realtor now for about 13 years. I grew up in Vancouver. I haven't really ever wanted to leave this city. It's for a multitude of reasons, but Vancouver can be kind of a lot of different things to a lot of different people. And I think that's why it's been a successful city, for why people have chosen to make it their home of all, Canada, where you could choose to live. It's obviously, an outdoor playground for the people who like to be outdoors, skiing and hiking and biking. We have a very successful downtown core. There's a lot of major businesses that have moved into Vancouver. The hardest part about living here, obviously, is we have record-setting home prices, just like in Toronto. So it's not easy, but I want to live in an area that's going to push me to be better than I am and have to work harder than I usually would somewhere else. And I think that in turn leads to more success. So I can keep going. I just don't know exactly how much better you want me to make it sound like living in Vancouver. This is just going to be a commercial for why Vancouver's better than Toronto.
No, and I get that. I get that. We all have to be proud about where we stay, and that's good. That's all good. Yeah. So what I do know from the wonderful thing called social media is that you are very passionate about your home. I love your home personally. My favorite style of home is a contemporary home. I personally believe we don't have enough of that in the Greater Toronto area. You have more of that in Vancouver, and from what I've seen on social media, you bought a contemporary home, but you have not stopped improving that home. And on Instagram stories, I'm crazy about your Instagram stories. What's your Instagram handle there, just for everybody out there?
My Instagram handle is SIR Realtor Kevin. Sir Realtor Kevin.
Sir Realtor Kevin. Go and follow him, because on your stories, you are nonstop showing us the way to do some lovely additions and upgrades and improvements to your beautiful home. So tell us a little bit about that and why we're seeing so much of that now at the moment.
First of all, welcome to my kitchen. Not everybody has seen the kitchen, so you have more of an intimate relationship with me than many people. Most of my clients haven't seen the inside of my home. My wife and I bought this post and beam. It was built in 1970 and did a substantial renovation. It was our third renovation project. I don't by any means pretend to be some woodworking master craftsman or renovating genius, but I have done it a couple times and I've made a lot of mistakes. And from that, you get to learn the creative process. Sometimes, of course, it's very stressful. When I started this project with my wife, this receding hairline was like down here. I measure my success by how bad this recedes.
Yes.
So anyway, this was about 3 months. But it's just a big open space. I'm going to pivot you so you can see people in our living room. And
wow.
Oh, there we go.
By the way, just me following you, this was all black. Just me following you is so stressful. That's now white. See,
my easy DIY hack for that would be shoe polish.
Correct. Yes. That's more of a life hack. It's more of a life hack. I would rather go for more of a professional coloring system than shoe polish. But we live in those times now that you have to make do with what you have, right?
My wife did this fade for me the other day, and
It
I
looks
had
great. I was going to ask you, did they open the barber shops there? What's happening? You know, so it looks good.
yeah, not quite yet. They open up in another maybe week apparently. Who is still like I can't book an appointment yet still, but
Yes.
I had to tell my wife, I'm like, I save you harmless against any you're saved harmless against anything. She goes, what the hell does that mean? I'm like, well, it's a contract thing, whereby it means I can't come after you for any sort of mistake that you make.
Yeah, I know it's looking really, really good. Really good. Okay, yeah. So there's a lot of woodwork that's going into. You say that you've dabbled a little bit, but I must say the projects that I'm seeing there is absolutely no way that normal guy like me, like I can't even hang a picture on the wall for Pete's sake. So you are doing a phenomenal job there, I must say.
Well, thank you, and that's very kind. I honestly, I honestly don't think I'm incredibly skilled. I think what it is, I have one character trait, which I think is my, like, if you were to describe Kevin Hardy, my number one criteria of like what that fills me up with is patience.
Okay.
And I'm going to be very good in real estate, with client care, with being a good husband, being a good wife, being a good partner, whatever, or being a very good woodworker. You have to be patient.
Yes.
And it's through that patience that I have that I've learned to make a lot of mistakes. But there's a couple of projects around my house because everybody during this time, everybody is learning to either they love their home more and more, and there's just a few things that they'd like to change, or they've decided I need more space.
Yes.
I mean, you and I both hope that it's the latter.
Correct.
But moving is expensive, and so it's important that I think people know that when you go into a new place that you do not need to be woodworking inclined to do very basic home upgrades.
Mm-hmm.
Surely not to the extent that I've been doing. Like I'm building cabinetry and stuff, but not all my projects are that. I have some props, Petrus.
Oh yes.
I brought some props.
You bought props. You want to show us the props?
Yeah, of course I do.
Yeah,
I'm gonna make. Hold on a second here. So I had a photo that I was just gonna hold up on my phone of my deck.
Yes.
Above my lights that I did there, and I don't know if you're gonna be upset with me because it's gonna like botch how beautiful you edit this all together.
Yes.
But I guess we will see. But pretty much, here we go. There we go. See, that's my deck lighting project.
You see.
And
those little LED lights.
Yeah. And I did that literally by buying this. This is a $15 piece from the Home Depot. You put it in your drill. You don't even have a very powerful drill. Like literally, I did this with my original drill, which was a 12-volt, $115 DeWalt drill. You don't need
unbelievable.
That. And you just punch holes, drop the lights in. They were from Amazon. I got 20 lights for $75. And then under the deck, you literally just twist together the male and female ends. And the power supplies, you can just plug it into the wall.
It makes a huge difference. Many times I tell my clients, especially on the selling side, clients that are worried that they might have overcapitalized on more luxurious looking items within the house. It's never lost on a similarly enthusiastic buyer. They come and look at a house. They're absolutely mesmerized by that. Sometimes they don't know why, but it's because of what the seller did, that little extra love that they put in. And LED lights in a deck, I mean, it makes a huge difference. A huge difference.
So that kind of part of what we discussed of like when you wanted to talk today, I just think that there could literally be an entire renovation show devoted to what I call the last 5%, which are it's the final care and love that goes into renovation that makes the space make sense. If I were to, it's the Big Lebowski, it's the rug that ties the room together. It's the final little things. Something that I did, which was really inexpensive to dress up my kitchen. This kitchen nearly bankrupted my wife and I when we put it in. I've never put in an expensive kitchen before. This one is. And the thing is, when you open up all the drawers, we couldn't really afford to put in all of the beautiful dividers that go into the drawers because they were literally $400 an insert.
Wow.
Multiply that by 15 drawers on top of I don't want to tell you what the kitchen costs, but like it was ridiculous.
Yes.
I literally went to Home Depot. I had bought an 8x4 sheet of plywood oak. I brought it to them because that won't fit in my car. I'm a realtor.
Yeah.
I don't drive a pickup truck. I don't have that luxury.
Yes.
And I had them cut it to size. I brought the sheets home, so they were the size of my drawers, and I just sprayed them with a polyurethane clear coat. And that's the inside of my drink drawer.
Wow. Oh, wow. Look at that.
By replacing, so what ended up costing me to put oak inlays into my kitchen drawers, it ended up being less than $12 a drawer.
Wow. That's amazing.
And that's the final 5%. If you open a drawer from a European kitchen company, that drawer probably cost $800 per drawer.
Yeah.
But when you open it up, if the inside just looks like another cabinetry company, what was the point? It's the feeling.
Yes. And that's the feeling of luxury that I always explain to my clients. It's, especially clients that buy in the luxury market, they absolutely insist on that, and they also will see it when they come through a home and they don't see it. It's a no-go. It's the end of the road, and you can spoil yourself by knowing that what the last 5% is, implementing it and enjoying it for the lifetime of your home. Most people don't understand that there is a concept like the last 5%. You should trademark that.
I literally want to do a blog about the whole thing. I mean, I can't tell you how much caulking makes a difference. It's just pennies. And here's a great example. I spent the flooring in my house was about $35,000.
Yeah.
Okay. When it went in, it's about 2,000 square feet. So $35,000 for the flooring. The baseboards were about 2,000. But the flooring looked like crap until you put that bead of silicone between the wall and the baseboard.
Yes.
So it's 3 cents on the $10 baseboard.
Yes.
On the $40 oak plank. It's the 3 cents of the caulking that makes the difference of the project being done or not, and looking sloppy or not. And everybody can learn to do caulking at home. I've done it a lot, and I'm still terrible at it, but it still looks better than it not being done. And if you really screw it up, pay someone to come in and fix it for you at a later date.
Let me ask you, how much thought did Kevin Hardy put into the color of the caulking? Was it an easy thing? Did you take the color of the baseboard? Did you take the color of the floor? Is it a natural? Is it a slam dunk easy choice, or what did you do there?
Actually, that's a really good question that I literally just learned the other day. Luckily for me, in all of my renos, we go with an off-white wall color, so it doesn't matter. I always use white, but we have floating oak stairs, and they sit on risers. The risers are this color, this gray color, and then the oak sits on top. So white silicone didn't look good. And the parts where the floor met the risers of the staircase, that gap drove me nuts.
Yeah, they do.
For 3 years out of my life before I was a realtor, I was a suite inspector. So it's ruined me. Like I can spot a crooked light switch from about 5 miles away.
Yes.
But we ended up using a beige color caulking to fill the gap from the horizontal to the vertical surface. So I would say if you're caulking to fill a hole, it's to continue that plane to whatever color this is. Yeah. Sort of what I would recommend.
Yeah, because I've seen it go horribly wrong when they use the wrong color. Low. Yeah.
It's also if you own a post and beam, that's also a really good way of making it look really sharp and crisp. The house was built by an architect. He lived here for 35 years, and it was all about aesthetics, not over function. Mm-hmm. So right here, you can see these beams right here that go through my whole home, and they go inside and outside by another 2 feet.
Yes.
Every single spot there where there's an inside-outside run, there is an air gap. It just sits, but it doesn't sit because the wood bows. Yes. So I literally ran through there and put caulking to, part of it was to insulate, I mean, if you were to add up how many air gaps there are in my house, I mean, there's probably a Dodge Caravan sized hole in the side of my house letting air out.
Yeah.
But it absolutely finishes that joint so that your eye naturally goes to corners and joints in a house, because that's where the detail is and where the expense is of getting like a craftsman to finish your house.
Exactly.
So by putting a little duct tape, a little Band-Aid on that problem, it looks like way better.
Unbelievable. Well, we've sort of like run out of time. I wanted to go a lot longer with our discussion, but thank you, because I must say I love it when you do anything on social media about your house, because as I said 3 times now on this talk, I love contemporary homes, and this is a phenomenal example of that. They did a great job first, and now you're doing an even better job by fixing it up, for lack of a better description. So, and thank you very much for joining us today.
Well, I thank you for listening to me ramble.
If we can't ramble, what do we have? Yeah.
That's like 90% of my job.
Exactly. I think I actually apologized in an email yesterday to a client for my ramblings. So it's a natural, it's a realtor thing apparently.
Yeah, just talking it. Well, listen, Petrus, and thank you for listening to me ramble today.
Thank you. Thanks. Bye-bye.